Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Mark Marvin Villadula, and for tonight's session, I'll be teaching you all about annuity. I am using my sister's Zoom account, but then again, I am Mr. Mark Marvin Villadula. Before we start, let us open our session with a small prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Direct, O God, we beseech you by all our actions, by your holy inspiration, and help us all by your gracious assistance, so that in every prayer and work of ours we begin with you, and by you be happily ended. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. May I know if we have complete attendance for tonight? Yes, let us start. So let us talk about annuity. For tonight's lesson, our objective is that we should be able to illustrate simple annuity, find the future value and present value of simple annuity, and show responsibility in handling money. So let's talk about annuity. What comes to your mind at first when you hear the word annuity? You might wonder, it is all about money? It is all about payment. Well, actually, annuity is payments by installment, which are done periodically and in equal amount. So there are different types of annuity. We could classify them into the following. First, according to the payment interval and interest period. So we have two here. We have the simple annuity and the general annuity. Simple annuity is an annuity where the payment interval is the same as the interest period. While on the other hand, the general annuity is an annuity where the payment interval is not the same as the interest period. Do you follow? Next type of annuity is according to the time of payment. An ordinary annuity or annuity immediate is a type of annuity in which the payments are made at the end of each payment interval. On the other hand, annuity due is a type of annuity in which the payments are made at the beginning of each payment interval. And another type of annuity is according to the duration. Annuity certain is an annuity in which the payments begin at the end, at the which the payment ends and begins at the definite times. While on the other hand, contingent annuity is an annuity in which the payments extend over an indefinite or indeterminate length of time. For tonight's discussion, we will be using annuity certain. Another one is ordinary annuity, and finally, simple annuity. The general annuity will be discussed the next meeting. Do you follow? Any questions? If there's none, let's proceed. So we have here the different terms we're going to use for the rest of the discussion. First is we have the term of annuity, which is denoted as small t, which is the time between the first payment interval and the last payment, or this is the number of interval of payments. The regular periodic payment R is the amount of each payment. Amount or the future value of annuity is the sum of future values of all the payments to be made during the entire term of the annuity, or the final amount. The present value of annuity, which is denoted by P, is the sum of present values of all the payments to be made during the entire term of the annuity, or it will be the present value of that annuity. So, as an illustration, we have here on the upper part, we have here the payments to be made, and on the bottom part, we have the number of terms of payment. So we have P here as the present value, and then up to the last one, we have here the F, or the final value. Do you follow? For example, an installment payment of an appliance of 3,000 pesos every month for 6 months. So here we have 3,000 pesos to be paid every month for 6 months. So we have the periodic payment R, which is 3,000. We have 6 terms of 6 months, and we have a payment interval of 1 month. Do you follow? Next, let's talk about the future value of simple annuity, where we have the formula of the future value as F is equal to R times 1 plus J raised to N all over minus 1 all over J, where R is the regular payment, J is the interest rate per period, and N is the number of payments. For example, number 1. Suppose Mr. Reyes would like to save 3,000 pesos at the end of each month for 6 months in a fund that gives 9% compounded monthly. How much is the amount of his savings after 6 months? So we have here the problem and the given. We have T as 6 months, the number of terms. R, we have here the payment of 3,000 every month. We have the I, or the interest, at 9%. M, which is the number of compounding, which is monthly, or 12. N, we have 6, since the number of interval coincides with the length or the duration. And J, finally, to compute J, we have to divide I by M. So it is 0.09 divided by 12, which is equal to 0.0075. Do you follow? Is there any question? And finally, we're going to substitute each part. So we have the final future value to be at 18,340 and 89 centavos. Any questions? If there's none, next slide. Next one we have here, in order to save for her high school graduation, Anna decided to save 200 pesos at the end of each month. If the bank pays 0.25% compounded monthly, how much will her money be at the end of 6 years? So once again, we have a term of 6 years, or 6. R, which is the monthly payment of 200 pesos. We have the interest at 0.0025. We have the compounding of 12, which is monthly. And then to compute N, we have to multiply time by the number of conversion, which is 12. So 6 times 12 is 72. And to compute J, we are going to again divide I by M, which is 0.0025 divided by 12, which is equal to 0.0002083. Any questions so far? Do you follow? And again, we're going to plug it in to the formula, and we have the future value to be at 14,507 pesos and 2 centavos. Any questions? If there's none, next we have here the formula for the present value of simple annuity, which is, if you could see, is looking like the future value. However, we have here 1 minus at the beginning of the formula, and then the exponent is now negative. So for example, Mr. Reyes, this is like our previous example on number 1 on the future value, but this time for the present value. Mr. Reyes would like to know how much is the present value of his 3,000 peso savings at the end of each month for the 6 months, for the next 6 months, in a fund that gives 9% compounded monthly. So once again, we have the term of 6 months, or which is the payment of 3,000 pesos. The interest will be at 9%. The number of conversion is 12 since it is monthly. And then the number of terms once again is 6 since it coincides with our time. Next one, we have the J. again, to compute it, we have to divide I by M, which is 0.09 divided by 12, which is equal to 0.0075. We're going again to substitute it into the formula, and the answer will be 17,536 pesos and 79 centavos. Any question? So if you could notice, let's go back to number 1 into the future value. The future value is 18,000 pesos. 18,000 plus pesos. While the present value here is 17,000 plus pesos, meaning to say there is an increase of at least 1,000 pesos from the present value to the future value. Any questions so far? Number 2, this time, if the monies were 10% compounded semi-annually, find the present value and the amount of an annuity whose annual rent is 1,700 pesos, which is payable semi-annually for 12 years and 6 months. So this question would like us to solve for both the future value and for the present value. So first things first, let's get what are the details of the problem. So first, we have the time at 12.5 since it is 12 years and 6 months. Do you follow? Or, which is 1,700 pesos divided by 2, which is 850 pesos. Sir, why do we divide it by 2? Since the payment is payable semi-annually. Do you follow? So the 1,700 pesos is the totality for a year. But since it is semi-annually, the payment is 850 pesos. Any questions? If there's none, next we have the interest of 0.1 since it is 10%. M, which is the conversion, is 2 since it is semi-annually. Again, our conversion is 1 if it is annually, 2 for semi-annually, 4 for quarterly, and 12 for monthly. N is equal to T times M. We're going to multiply the time times the conversion, which is 12.5 times 2, which is 25. Next one, J. To compute J, we have to again divide I by M. So it is 0.1 divided by 2, which will be 0.05. And then to compute for the present value, again, we have to substitute the values inside. And the answer will be 11,979 pesos and 86 centavos. Any questions? If there's none, next we're going to compute for the future value. The future value, again, once again, we're going to substitute the values inside the formula. So the answer will be 40,568 pesos and 4 centavos. Any questions so far? If there is, where will I repeat shall I repeat the lesson? If there's no question, the practice exercises will be provided on the link on the LMS. Once again, this is Mr. Mark Marvin Villatula. Thank you and good evening.